What up? Welcome to Unmaster, the podcast where I get to chat with the contributors to the hip hop culture, the culture that we love. I'm your host, Atenda Zimbandu, aka the Ultra Poet, and today I host a man of many caps and jackets. He is Six Law Man. He is a producer, a rapper, a singer, songwriter. I don't know, man. He's gonna introduce himself and tell us all about himself. Hey, man, introduce yourself.
Yo, yes, a man of many caps, definitely. Um, yeah, I'm Six the Law. I don't know if I should share my government name here, but I'll just give you my first name. My name is Michael. I'm an artist and producer, engineer, singer, songwriter, um, designer, I guess. Um, well, definitely a lot of hats. I'm really glad to be on this podcast. I felt like it's long overdue, Ultra. But yeah, man, I'm just someone who's passionate about hip hop, passionate about music, passionate about quality, and yeah, I'm happy to be here to chop it up with everybody.
I know, man. I've been planning to get you on the podcast for the longest. I have my reasons, and I've always been waiting for something that I thought you'd have expert knowledge on to talk about. Because obviously, I want to give you on the podcast to talk about you and your journey, but I also have a topic that I always have in my pocket that I would want to ask you later on the podcast. So to this week, I think I have the perfect thing to talk to you about. But now, let's talk about you. First of all, it would be a crime if I don't ask you this. What does sixth law mean? Where did that come from, man? Yeah, let's talk about that.
Okay. Where does the name Six the Law come from? First of all, there's people who like get my name way too wrong. Like I've had V1 the law. There's VI. Okay, I kind of understand that, but like V1 though, that's the one that really gets to me. Or someone was like, what? Vith the law or something like that. Ish. Crazy. The name Six the Lord comes from, it's actually quite a long story. It's multiple stages. In high school, there was this whole phase when people on Facebook, I'm from the era where Facebook was the biggest social media. Not that old though, but you know. Yeah, back then Facebook, sorry, had like, what's like the it thing, and then everyone had like a witty name, a very clever name, middle name they would put on Facebook. They would have like a nickname. So around that time, there was a song by Far East Movement called "Like a G6," like a G6, like a G6. Yeah, some people who listen to this will know the track I'm talking about. Like a G6, and there was a night when I'd gone out with some friends. We're going to a party, and the we on our way there, so we took a taxi, and for some reason we didn't have enough money to pay the cab dude, and then he dropped us off at a roadblock by the police. Um, so we were going to a club that was at um, Sam Levy's. At that time, it was called Axiom. And when we were left there, the cops were like, okay, we just told them like, yo, our parents are gonna come pick us up at at Sam Levy, and they were just like, make a plan, Watan, to get there. And we started walking, and while we were walking, like I don't know if it was a friend of mine or I was just like randomly singing it out. I just kept on going like a G6, like a G6, and then so one of my friends was like, I will talk to G6 because you keep on singing like a G6. And I was like, oh, this is dope. So around the time when I started rapping and trying to figure out like my rap name, this is kind of like skipping a lot because I don't wanna I don't wanna go on for ages on this, but when I was trying to figure out my rap name, I had settled on G6. But then a Google search really just showed me that, yo, there's so many G6s in the world. And I was like, I don't want to be like, yo, I don't want to have the same name as all these other dudes. So I talked to another friend and I was telling him my dilemma. And it's like, why don't you use your second name? So I have like one of those second names which is like unique. Like it's like it's like it's you won't hear it a lot, and it's something I used to be shy about because everyone had like a Takudzo or a Takunda. My second name is Murao, which means the law. Then he was like, why don't you call yourself G6 the law? I was like, oh, I like that. I was like, okay, but I'm gonna drop the G6 the law. It had a nice ring to it. Then I was like, no. So I have to like visually see it. So I then typed it out and I changed it to Roman numerals, VI, the law. That doesn't give people permission to go be VI, the law. I'm just explaining in this story. But yeah, that's where it came from. 6, the law.
I would have never guessed that's where the name come from, bro. Because I was like, why would this guy call himself the law? Like, is he trying to like? Is it coming from Marvel or something? Because I saw something like on this show. I forgot the name, but I was talking about someone calling himself the law. So I thought that's where it was coming from. So, anyways, like Daredevils from Daredevil, there was a guy who was calling himself the law or something. I don't remember exactly the details, but that's where my mind ran to the first time I heard 6 the law. But hearing the story gives us a whole new perspective, and the cops coming in and everything. This will be a really dope story for like your backstory, man. Like it all sounds a little like gangster. Every story that involves the police is gangster, though it isn't really, because it's just like a normal story. Now let's talk a little bit about you starting to rap. Like, what motivated you picking up the pen, picking up the paper, going to the mic and being like, man, I wanna be a rapper. Let me spit these bars. How was that journey like?
Yeah, I get street cred. It would be a cooler story if after the encounter with the cops, I called myself the law, something like that. Maybe. Okay, so how did I start? How did I start rapping? First of all, like I grew up like in Gweru, and I was at a school called Midlands Christian School, and it was pretty much like my childhood. Like I didn't have much like big exposure to hip hop, right? I would just hear bits and pieces, but I can't say that I was like the biggest hip hop head. In fact, as a kid, I actually thought Sean Paul is the coolest, was the coolest artist out there. But the rest of the time, it was mostly like Hillsong type vibes and stuff that my parents would be playing. And they'll be playing like ABBA. I really remember waking up to go to school and like they're blasting ABBA, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Plus, yeah. My mom's Nigerian, so she'd be also playing like some stuff from over there, and that was the stuff which I was mostly listening to. And crazy enough, also like urban grooves and stuff. So, but then at that young age, I had a passion for reading and writing, like just reading stories and writing stories, and I used to win like competitions, literary competitions. So when I came to Harare, one of my friends decided for high school, Prince Edward, and I started like really diving into hip hop, and I must say also like I was also a sportsman in primary school, like rugby and like all these other sports. And what happened was, one day I got like a software, like I got like a flash. Was it a floppy disk at that time? Damn, I'm revealing my age. um, and it had some softwares on it. And initially, and at that time, I'd also got like my first computer. So I'm in Harare. I've got my first computer, and I was just like, okay, I want to do some really cool stuff. And I tried my hand at animation, and animation did not work out. It was way too hard, bro. But then in that folder, and this is the moment, there was an install file for Fruity Loops 4, right? So I actually started making beats first, and at first I was like, oh, okay, I can make music on this thing. And I started making beats, and then it got to a point where I really couldn't find anyone to rap over my beats. Maybe because they were bad at that time, or I don't know what was going on. But then I just decided, yo, at that time I became a Kanye West fan. I was like, oh, he writes and raps over his own beats. Like, I want to do that. That sounds cool. And I was diving into hip hop culture, and it was like, oh, okay, so this is like competitive writing. And I was like sort of in a phase where I'd sort of like kind of chilled on sports. So it was a way for me to reignite like that passion for writing and being the sportsman, and have like competitive writing, which is rap. It's like a sport. And I had my own beats. So that's how pretty much I started rapping. And well, a major event was like, there's this guy who was sort of like the rapper in like class, like when I was form 3, and like he challenged like the class to a rap battle and stuff like that. And I wrote like my battle raps, but I didn't end up like going through with like with doing the battle. Like I chickened out, and I kind of like, I don't know, I dropped the paper or something like that, and he read out the bars. And it's like, yo, who wrote this? And I never owned up to it. Then I kind of vowed to myself, yo, I'm never gonna back down, from this, so yeah, that's how I started rapping and writing.
No, I always resonate with any artist's music when they have a story. Like they have a story. Like this is why Kendrick Lamar is my favorite rapper. This is why I like Ed Sheeran. They have histories. They have stories, and you have one. You have a rich story, like where you're coming from, where you're going, certain points that you realize, certain things, and the decisions that you have made to be where you are right now. And this is what makes you such a unique artist and a hardworking producer and all around music person. And I really admire that in you, the work ethic and everything. So take us through maybe your release timeline. When was the first song that you put out? Maybe first project that you put out to the last one that you put out. Take us through that. Take us through the emotions and the work that you had to put in, your favorites, and the feedback that you got. Let's hear it. The 6 Law music release timeline.
Hey, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Truly, truly appreciate that. Yo, okay, this is gonna be difficult. My release timeline. I've released a lot of music. Okay, so initially, so this is first song. The first song I released was a song called okay. In high school, I was part of a group, like a duo. It was me and this guy called Black White. We collaborated years later on some Afrobeat stuff. But in high school, we had a group. It was called Euphoric, and we did some songs. We're working with a producer called Sekou B, right? And that was like in 2011. 2011, we're working on that. But we worked on 3 songs. I'm sorry, I forgot the titles. It's just been that long. But first song I released. Okay, there's a song which was called Adieu, which I did for my girlfriend at the time. She was leaving for varsity, and I just made this beat which I thought was amazing, where I sampled some opera music, and I was recording with those Intex headsets, which are supposed to be for Skype. That was my studio. That was my studio. So I did a due. After I did a due, that's when I went to varsity. And then when I got to varsity, on my first night at varsity, I got to campus late, and they put us in temporary residence, and I was just chilling with two guys in the room, and this guy pulls out a condenser mic and like a mixer, and I'm like, bro, are you a producer? He's like, yeah, I'm a producer and rapper. I'm like, I'm a rapper and producer too. Then we became a group called Toxic Fusion, which was kind of a bad name thinking of it now in retrospect, because it did end up being somewhat of a toxic fusion. But yeah, we did some amazing music, and I learned so much from that dude. So we did a song called we did like, I would like to say 5 songs. We did a song, some Afrobeat song featuring a Congolese guy from campus. We did a rap song called Put In Work. We did a song which actually became like a campus hit called Cyber Room Chick, and it was pretty much like, you know, those softwares which don't allow you to go to certain websites and stuff. So in campus there was a software like that, and then we both got turned down by the same girl, and we're like, oh, she's a Cyber Room Chick. So the software was called Cyber Room. So then it was just like an inside thing, but then it became like a campus hit, and we started performing it like at events. So that was a major one. And then yeah, and at that time yeah, that's when I was using G6 as my stage name. Yeah. And then oh yeah, we did a song called Tisuacho, featuring Victor Enlisted, where he was a streamer head of us at AU. So I had met him back then, and he was the only other guy who had a studio on campus. So we had a studio and he had a studio. So we collaborated on that. That was like 2012, 2013 type. So yeah, at that time I was just soaking up knowledge. Then I did like a year where I wasn't making music, and that's probably like the only year since I started where I kind of didn't make a track. Yeah, or I started making music again like towards like late in the year. I forgot what I worked on. It might have been Pressure. We did a song called Pressure featuring Don Cavell. Yeah, we did Pressure. Oh, okay, I think I'm messing up the timelines. Okay, and then I go for Attachment. Just before Attachment, I released a song called The Color L, and now that's when I already changed my name to Six the Law. I did The Color L, and then I did Pombo Noka, yeah, which was co-produced by Victor Enlisted. My first song to get on radio, Pombo Noka. One of the songs which I look back is cringe-worthy, but yeah, people like it, so it is what it is. Did Pombo Noka, remix. Pombo Noka remix was actually pretty cool. I had T1 Wema 1, I had Venge Music, I had Soko Matema, I had Chizo, I had Taps 115 was on that as well. What a throwback. Then after Attachment, I did a song also with Keith JFK called Bruh. It was a banger. And that time it was Victor was mixing all these songs. Yeah, I was still learning. And then I started working on Camp Us in my last year of college, which was going to be my debut project. Campus, I started working on it last semester of college. Finished it late 2016. Before Campus was released a song called Yeti featuring C-Verb. Beginning of 2017, February the 3rd, we dropped Camp Us. After Camp Us, I took a little hiatus. Campus was really received well, and I didn't even think of it as an album. I was just like, it's a project, it's out. Um, we did campus. After campus, I chilled and I did a series called Six Saturdays, where I was dropping a track for 6 Saturdays. I dropped a song called H Metro Booming off my chest, which was received really really well. I was going through a lot of depression at that time, because like family not embracing the music, and and I was kind of, the thing is, it was kind of tricky because like I graduated as best male psychology student, so like everyone was like, why are you going into music, that type of thing. um it was a tough time, so a lot of the music started becoming a lot more darker because it became like more of a therapeutic release. So there was H Metro Booming, Off My Chest, Scrolling, um, if I'm not mistaken, Stay Woke, which was like a Free Smoke remix, and I forgot the sixth song. Sixth song was Humble. Ah, I lie. Was it Humble? Like a Humble remix or something like that. I don't know. After that, was releasing singles, so it goes like Campus. After Campus, there's Friday Night, Sunday Mornings, which I did with Brissy Parker. It was more of an R&B, trap soul type project. The timing was a bit tricky because my dad got really sick around that time, so I don't know. I had my first radio interview. It was such a turbulent time. And then after that, we did the working title EP with Ovid Nassau. It was very rap type project. After the working title was what, 2018. 2018 working title, no, 2019, early 2019 working title. And then we go from working title, we go to and in the midst of this, I'm forgetting a bunch of singles which are just dropping randomly, and freestyles and random songs and stuff. Then we go to Corona Care Package 2020, and then we go to Fight or Flight this year. So yeah, that's pretty much in a nutshell my release timeline.
That was a pretty detailed timeline, man. I'm pretty sure somewhere out there has been educated on the journey of Six the Law, because some of us might have. Personally, I think I knew you mostly as a producer. Like I had you on a few songs, like on a perpetual song. I think that's the first time I had you like that tag Six the Law, bruh. Maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago. And then I saw you again producing for Tears in the Soil. Then I bumped into Body. I think Body was one of the first songs that I heard from you. And then I had the Corona Care Package, and then I had the last EP, and I was like, dang, this dude fire. So, but mostly I respected you for the production, and you were rapping, and the work that you did on that Reaper album. That was amazing. That was so solid, man. And your verse just won the ZZ verse of the month. That was super amazing. So my next question will probably be, um, what can we expect from Sixth Law from this point on going forward? What's your plan? What's your ultimate goal? Do you want to be famous? Do you want to keep on making music? Do you want to venture more into production? What's the direction that you're taking from this point going forward? Maybe for your music to be sustainable, maybe to reach a wider audience. What's the plan for Sixth Law in the near future?
Yo, wow. um, I ask myself that question every day as well. I put a lot of time, um, a lot of effort into the game, and like into like a lot of projects I've worked on. And truth is, I have a deep love for music, and I feel like music has a deep love for me. And as I've gotten older, the goalposts have changed. At first, like the idea was like just to be as good as possible, just to be competent. And all the things I do them like because of like necessity. Like I had to learn to mix when I couldn't afford to get songs mixed. I bought my own equipment. I had to learn to do stuff for myself because like sometimes situations wouldn't allow. So everything I know is just a culmination of having to, DIY. And yeah, so as time has gone, at first I just wanted to produce for myself, and then artists started coming through, and I started producing for them, and it was an opportunity to grow. And that's one of the biggest things that I'm actually about: growth, like just getting better, being a master at what I do, and just giving people quality. But also there's the reality of like financial responsibilities, sustainability, legacy, and stuff like that. So at some point it was, yo, I need to pop, I need people to know, and stuff like that. But right now it's just the goal is to create something bigger than myself, just to have a reputation based on competence, based on like the quality of the work, you know. There's a lot of talk about king of this, lists, etc, and on a human level, I guess I feel some type of way about it sometimes when I'm excluded and I feel like the game doesn't show me enough love, etc. But I feel like I'm blessed enough to do so much that me being cocky about it or being extra about it, it's kind of like me being ungrateful, So it's just really expansion, it's really expansion for myself and for artists in general, for them to get paid, for them to have this as a legit dream. I've had to fight so many battles and still am fighting battles to make this thing like a thing, because I'm full-time music, so it's my bread and my butter. So over the course of years, I've developed some survival techniques, but the ultimate goal is to go from surviving to thriving. I think that's what it would be. Thriving in purpose, like knowing that, okay, I'm taking care of my family. I am like pushing the envelope sonically. I am like contributing to the general conversation, to the global conversation of music, and giving my own perspective. That's the ultimate goal. And I just feel like life is sort of like a relay race, where it's like, there are people who started making music, and it's just branched out over the years. And as eras come and go and people live and die, they pass down their knowledge in the form of this baton stick. And I feel like right now I just have to play my part to ensure that while I was holding the baton stick, like I made it so that the people I pass it to are gonna benefit from it.
It's really important to know, man. Like at the end of the day, you gotta realize that it's not always about social media or how people are seeing you, but actually, is it paying the bills? Is it sustainable? Can I live off of this? But it's not always about passion. It's also about how am I living? Is this sustaining me? Because at the end of the day, I'm not just trying to create art. I'm also trying to live off of this. I don't know if that makes sense. So there's this issue I wanted to talk to you about also. The thing about posthumous albums. Posthumous albums have been in the hip hop discussions for the past few years, with the passing of people like Mac Miller, Juice WRLD, and Pop Smoke, and people putting out albums for them on their behalf, maybe their labels, their estates, and everything. And most people are not happy about this because most of these albums are half baked and they do not deliver the essence of the artist. What are your thoughts on these albums coming out, and the recent Pop Smoke album, which has ignited the flame of the discussion again? And there's also talk about 3 albums coming from Juice WRLD. Juice WRLD has been passed away for a while now, and we got another album last year. We're getting another this year, and they're saying there will be more albums from Juice WRLD. What are your thoughts on that?
Posthumous albums. Hey, first of all, I'll just start by saying I'm not really a fan of them. Like, I don't know. I think it depends on how they're handled. I like posthumous albums where it's like um, the the artist, while they're still alive, they had a say in how it was going to move. Um, with with uh, with with these ones where it's more of like the label, the team. I don't know. I feel like maybe there's certain contractual obligations that need to be fulfilled, and labels still need to recoup, the investment. You know, um, it just has to be genuine at the end of the day. Because it gets kind of uncomfortable and unsettling. Like I saw like a lot of talk about like even the latest Pop Smoke album, where it's like there's so many features. Yeah, it's kind of like using a dead person as like a prop or as a way just to to stay relevant. And it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of messy. It's kind of messy. With Juice WRLD, I mean, like we haven't had a Nipsey, passed way back, but like we haven't had a Nipsey album, you know, because I feel like it also just depends on the artist. It depends on the artist and like the team and the goals, and like there's a lot involved. But in general, I feel like they kind of make me uncomfortable. um there's a I don't know, there's a feeling of the authenticity factor plus the replay value. I don't know. I don't know. It's a very tough subject to tackle, because at the same time there's some fans who need these albums to be out, who love the music, who want to hear it, who feel like they're honoring, because that's literally like what artists are working for, to be remembered and to have their music played, so it's all about walking that fine line between honoring the artist and actually like giving a body of work that respects their intention, not just putting songs together to make this commercial thing. I don't know. That's those are my 2 cents.
I'm glad that you shared that. Like, personally, I don't, I kind of like posthumous albums, especially maybe with albums that, as you said, were planned and executed whilst the artist was still alive. Because most of those records that they put out when the artist is now deceased are usually cutouts, throwaways, and everything, things that the artist didn't want even to be put out. And they put a lot of features to make it substantial and everything, but at the end of the day, it just doesn't feel like the artist, man. Like, it makes me mad in a way. But let's move on, because this is a very sensitive issue. Let's talk about your influences growing up. What kind of music? You kind of touched on this before, but we want to have a more detailed, I don't know, response. What kind of music were you listening to growing up? What are your influences? Maybe even as a grown up, who influences the kind of taste and sound that you have in music and production and everything? Who influences Six the Law, or who influenced Six the Law?
My influences. So I grew up in as I had mentioned earlier, in Gweru, right? So when I was on holiday, I'd come to Harare to stay at my grandmother's place and like be with my uncles and my cousins and all that. So that's why I would listen to some hip hop. I remember watching like Gorilla's videos back in the day. I'm saying this was amazing. As a kid, I remember watching the video for Feel Good Inc. and going like, this is just amazing. I used to like be into like pop as a kid, like all these songs. The funny thing, I don't know the names of these songs, but then I remember there's a song which was like, What if God was one of us? Just a stranger on a bus. I used to just listen to like music like that. And then um on our way to school, like my dad would when he was driving me to school, because I stayed like out of town, so everyone like stayed in the city. And I grew up on a farm, by the way, so it would be like a young 20-minute drive to school. So whatever my dad was playing in the car would end up being like sort of an influence. And there's this time when he was like heavy into Freddie Gwala and that like South African sound, and that really was like a vibe for me, like for a good like 2 years, a year or so. Then he randomly had a Westlife CD and would play Westlife all the time. I know a lot of people would not admit on record to listening to Westlife, but at that time as a kid, it was one of my influences. And Sean Paul. Yes, like Sean Paul was the vibe. That's the vibe to Sean Paul. And this is pre high school. Sean Paul, and then obviously the songs which are like big, like the Dilemmas by Nelly and Kelly Rowland. Yeah, Busta Rhymes as well. Busta Rhymes, but just the hits. A little Carlos Santana. Um, it was all over the place. I guess that's what makes me a good producer, because like I have a genuine appreciation for wide ranges of music. I can listen to even urban grooves also. Yes, urban grooves was like a vibe. I used to like really listen to urban grooves a lot. Like I really liked my freak, um, and yeah, Trinity, um, a lot, yeah, like a lot of what was playing that time. I was like really vibing. Roy and Royce, um, yeah, yeah. I wasn't really big on like Stana per se, but yeah, the more melodic stuff definitely. And then as time went on in high school, it was definitely that's when I went into rap, and I was more into first was Lil Wayne, like father like son type vibes. Then Kanye West, bro. Kanye West is like the reason. Like he's like that's my favorite artist of all time. Yeezy. Like when I listened to Kanye West music, I was like, nah, this is it. Kanye West, Kid Cudi, Man on the Moon. That was my vibe. Man on the Moon. As time went on, Childish Gambino. Used to listen to also a lot of like EDM, dubstep stuff. I also like that. Rock, Linkin Park, had a very deep Linkin Park phase. That was high school. Who else was I really listening to in high school? Yeah, I remember Kid Cudi, a lot of Kid Cudi. And I also started listening to J. Cole's and Drake's and Kendrick's, of course, that time. Yeah, I like the artists who like sort of represent like my story, like the super, like a lot of like super gangster music. I kind of vibe to 50 Cent, but didn't really resonate or represent who I am and like where I'm from. There's some artists who like I didn't need to be like from the streets to understand like, okay, this is dope. But then there's some artists who could articulate their street life so well that I was just like, damn. I was also vibing. So I'm like also a big Jay-Z fan, like Pusha T. Unfortunately, a lot of people give me slack for this. I don't know. I can't get with Griselda yet. I haven't really vibed to it. I like some songs by Benny, but not major. Not the biggest of fans. I had a big Timberland phase as well. Timberland, very dope. My influences as an adult, and definitely Kanye West, Travis Scott, Kendrick Lamar, Drake, who else? locally, locally, um, 10, 10 Diamond. I used to listen to a lot of 10, um, uh, 10 Diamond, Junior Brown, um, who else? Oh, Capital K, like his early stuff, like Capital K was crazy. Um, I remember Karma. Karma was dope. These are guys who I just used to look up to. Zion Black, Zane. Um, who else? Yeah, those were my influences like in college. Sorry, I know I keep on jumping timelines. 21 Pilots is also a major influence. I like alternative music. Tyler the Creator, Chance the Rapper, Acid Rap, Earl Sweatshirt. I like I have this thing about like I kind of like dark music, like kind of sad, mellow music. So yeah, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy could be the best Kanye West album, but I also like Yeezus. Yeah, as you can tell, like a big Kanye fan. Jay-Z, of course. Yeah, I think those are the main ones. Those are the people who I'd have on repeat. And Drizzy, yeah, Drake definitely. I'm sorry if I'm being erratic, but yeah, I like music, so like there's a lot to draw from. Yeah, Afro beats. I'm a piano. I'm inspired by Maporisa. I'm inspired by Kabza. I'm inspired by Jazzy Disciples. I'm inspired by what's this guy? Don Jazzy. I'm inspired by by Wizkid. I'm inspired by techno. Yeah, I just draw inspiration. Grime, gigs. We were listening to gigs in high school, bro. We were listening to grime, Dizzy Rascal. There's a phase I was listening to folk music from France. I just like a lot of music, bro.
All right, man. It really seems like you draw inspiration from a lot of artists, and it shows in your music. There's a lot of versatility, a lot of like different elements to it, which is really amazing. So you went on and on and on and on, but there are three names that I that I took from there, which are my personal favorites. That's your Kendrick Lamar, your Childish Gambino, and Tyler the Creator. Man, those people like they do it for me. Like musically, their music is always on point, man. And a whole lot of other artists that you mentioned, I really respect them, like on a personal level and everything, which is really amazing. So, next up is you shared a lot about your taste and your influences on there, but we want to simmer it down to we want to beat it down to 10 things that define Six the Law. So first thing is, what's your favorite movie? Number 2, TV show, visual artist, color, meal, country brand, car brand, car brand, rapper, album, and producer. Let's go.
Okay. Whee! Bro, this is so difficult, man. As you see, when I was struggling with all those, with when you were asking me like my influences, this is even hard. Favorite movie, bro. I can't even decide. I cannot decide, but I'll go with V for Vendetta, TV show. Favorite TV show. Bro, I might watch anime, man. It's like I don't know whether to choose from anime or live action. Okay, fine. Let's just go with live action. Favorite TV show. I'm just gonna pick one of my favorites. I literally do not have a favorite. Like I like so many different shows for different reasons. I like Shameless. Visual artist. That's an interesting one. Favorite visual artist. To be honest, I don't really know like I don't have like a real strong perspective on visual art. I like Andy Warhol stuff. Hey, Pamandanyepa, I don't know if that's his actual name. Andy Warhol, I like his work. Um, but yeah, for now, I like very wacky like streetwear type stuff, like art. I don't know. Favorite color black. Favorite meal. Hmm. Favorite meal. Uh, favorite meal. I like potatoes a lot, so like as long as there's potatoes, there's um there's this thing my mom would make. It was like my mom once made what's it called? Crayfish. Like she prepared it, and I had it with sadza, and it was amazing. That could be my favorite meal. Yeah, but then on a regular day, just give me potatoes, rice, sausage, mince, pork. Yeah, that's the vibe. Sorry, I know some of these answers are all over the place, but I'm trying my best. Favorite country? Um, hmm. I like favorite country. I like Nigeria. I like the culture. I like the vibe. I like the energy. I can't say it's my favorite, but it's a country I really like. Car brand. I've always been into supercars. I like Lambos. See, stereotypical rapper like Bugatti. Yeah, but right these days it's Benzo. Oof, like the latest class of Benz is just nice. Favorite rapper Kanye West. Favorite album Blurry Face by 21 Pilots. Producer Kanye West. Yeah.
That's a very introspective view into who you are as a person. I don't know if that's the right word for that, but you looking at yourself and seeing what you like and bringing that to us is really beautiful. It's really amazing. Pretty sure if there are fans listening, friends listening, they have learned a little bit about you. Maybe the things that they wouldn't be asking at a certain time. So yeah, Blurry Face by 21 Pilots. That's a good choice. Yeah, thank you so much. We've reached the end of the podcast. So I don't know if you have things you want to say to your fans, your family, to your friends who have been listening to the podcast, and any promises you want to give them for the future, maybe for future music that's coming. What's up with Six the Law? Maybe as your few words as we close up the podcast.
Yeah, this is the part where I'm gonna rant about niggas who hating on me and sleeping. Okay, I'm just kidding. First of all, thank you so much for the platform, for the opportunity just to, you know, just share. I've always, I watch so many interviews, and I'm always asking myself like, yo, I want to be interviewed too, man. I've got some stuff to say. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to do that. To all my fans and supporters. Yo, I can't thank you enough for like believing in me. And a lot of fans, they hit me up on some, bro, you're so underrated, bro, you deserve to be big, and etc. And I always refer to this interview which I watched by Burna Boy, where he was talking about like he said he's too big for an elevator. And basically what he was saying was that there are certain artists where they get the elevator, they go straight up, they go straight up to the top floor of the building, and some have to take the stairs. And the dope part about taking the stairs is that you understand every level of the building. So, I just need my fans to keep on believing and understanding that there's a bigger plan in place, What I will say though is that there'll be some expansion happening. I'm working on some exciting stuff, even like literally. As we speak, there's some stuff in motion. different genres, some stuff which is unexpected. I am working on a album. I'm working on something. But yeah, thank you so much to my fans. I want to call my fans are called the law enforcement, but like, damn, bro, like as a part of hip hop, like I can't like, you can't, like really cool with law enforcement. So yeah, I don't know, I might change that. But yeah, shout out to them, shout out to friends, shout out to family. Um, yeah, man, shout out to hip hop, man. Shout out to music. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing that we take part in. And yeah, and I have a special message to like, artists, fellow artists who want to come up. I know it gets to a time when people are saying keep it moving, keep going, and you're like, but I've heard that like millions of times. Bro, there's no other genius but persistence, you know. Like that's the genius thing, like ever since I started rapping, I've seen people who are like way better than me who just gave up or couldn't pursue their dreams or couldn't go. So just do the best that you can day by day, take care of your mental health, and truly be a fan of what you're creating, be excited to share it with the world, and yeah, things will come together, so yeah. Peace, bless, stay safe, sanitize, stay inside, because we are in the middle of a pandemic, and I need to see y'all at concerts one day. So yeah, I need everybody to pull through.
Tazvinzwa slipped out. Tazvinzwa album. We are anticipating that album. To read album, even if it's at an EP or mixtape, whatever. We want that body of work. The reason you sleep today. Why did you sleep from your tongue? Tazvinzwa. Thank you so much for the humility, bro. For the time. I know you're a busy person. Thank you so much for the time. Thank you so much for coming through. I appreciate you. I appreciate the work that you're putting in. It's really appreciated, man. And one day they'll give you your flowers, definitely. And I give you my flowers on this day today. If there's anybody listening who doesn't know the Sixth of the Law is, check him out. He's a dope producer, rapper, singer-songwriter, graphic designer. He does a lot of stuff, man. Honestly, he's dope. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. I'm your host, Tenda Zimbabwe, aka TheUltraPoet. This has been the UNMUSTARD podcast hosted by The Heat Trader. Go follow us on social media at The Heat Trader, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. Go give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much. Until next time.